Amelia Hart had always been known for her versatility. At 26, she was one of those rare performers who could move seamlessly between the worlds of fashion and film. Modeling had come first. The long runway lights, the camera flashes, the perfectly staged elegance. But acting had stolen her heart. It allowed her to disappear, to become someone else entirely, even if only for a few hours. Her blue eyes, clear, vibrant, and expressive, had landed her first major campaign at 19. And her hair, soft, golden, curly, falling just past her shoulders, had become something of a signature. Magazines often described her as the girl with sunlight in her hair. She'd had stylists straighten it, curl it tighter, dye it chestnut brown for one part and ice platinum for another. But no matter what, it always came back. Her natural blonde curls that bounced with life whenever she laughed. Hair, to her, wasn't just vanity. It was identity. It was how she shaped herself for each character, each photo shoot, each version of Amelia the world wanted to see. So when her agent, Marcus, called her one Thursday afternoon about a new film role, she hadn't thought much of it at first. "You're going to love this," he'd said, excitement bubbling in his voice. "It's a powerful story." And the director, James Rowland, he's the real deal. Think raw emotion, think Oscar bait material. She had smiled, leaning back in the chair of her apartment balcony as the sunlight hit her hair. "You make it sound like a dream, Marcus. What's the catch?" There was a brief pause. Then he'd exhaled. "You'd have to go bald." Amelia had laughed, thinking he was joking. "Very funny." "I'm serious," he replied softly. "James wants total realism." The character, Anna Keller, is a woman battling cancer, and he doesn't want prosthetics or bald caps. He wants to capture every stage of it authentically. He wants someone brave enough to let it all go. Her laughter had faded. "He knows that's a lot to ask, right?" "He does," Marcus said. "But he's also offering you the lead. And this could change everything. It's the kind of role that defines a career." That night, Amelia didn't sleep. She stood in front of the mirror, brushing her hair over and over. It glowed under the soft light of her vanity table. Healthy, full, radiant. The thought of losing it made her chest tighten. Yet, as she imagined herself in the role, fragile, strong, vulnerable, she also felt something stir inside her. Maybe this was what being an actress truly meant. To let go, to become someone else completely. Still, she wasn't ready to decide. The following week, Amelia met the director. James Rowland was tall, quiet, and intense, the kind of man who seemed to see everything without saying much. They sat across from each other in a small cafe, a stack of scripts between them. "You read the script?" he asked. "I did," she replied. "It's beautiful." He nodded. Anna's journey isn't just physical. It's about shedding. Expectations, appearances, the world's judgment. The scene where she loses her hair, that's the emotional center of the film. That's where she stops hiding. She looked down, fingers curling around her coffee cup. "So no bald cap?" "No bald cap," he said gently. "We can't fake this. The audience will feel it. It needs to be real. And I think you could make it unforgettable." For a long time, she said nothing. Then quietly, she asked, "Will it grow back?" James smiled faintly. "It always does." When she walked home that afternoon, the decision hung heavy on her shoulders. Every breeze seemed to lift strands of her hair, teasing her with what she stood to lose. She knew deep down she would say yes, because that's who she was. An artist who gave everything to the work. But still, when the day came, her heart would break a little. The set was quiet that morning, unusually so. The production team had cleared a space in one of the sound stages, turning it into a temporary salon. Bright lights reflected off the mirrors, and the scent of hair products filled the air. Amelia arrived early, wearing a simple white blouse and jeans. Her curls were loose, falling naturally around her shoulders, framing her delicate face. Everyone greeted her warmly, but there was a certain tension in the air, a silent acknowledgement of what was about to happen. A professional stylist was waiting, an older woman named Karen, known for working on film sets that demanded precision. "You must be Amelia," she said kindly. "We'll take good care of you." "I promise." Amelia smiled weakly. "Thank you. I'm a little nervous." "That's normal," Karen said. "You're about to do something few people would ever have the courage to do." The makeup artist came over with a blue PVC cape, shiny, smooth, and cool to the touch. "This will protect your clothes," she explained softly as she draped it over Amelia's shoulders. The material reflected the light, gleaming under the studio lamps. It fastened snugly around her neck with a soft click. For a moment, Amelia stared at herself in the mirror. The cape looked oddly theatrical, like something out of another world. She took a slow breath, trying to steady the trembling in her chest. The cameras were set up discreetly in the corners of the room. They were going to film the entire process, not just for continuity, but for the actual scene. It would be real. Every tear, every shiver, every sound of scissors and clippers would become part of the film. "Are you ready?" James asked quietly, stepping forward. Amelia met his eyes in the mirror. "As ready as I'll ever be." Karen began sectioning her hair, tying it into several loose ponytails with black elastics. Amelia could see her reflection, the little bunches of her golden curls sticking out in different directions. Her throat felt dry. "Do you want to keep a piece of it?" Karen asked softly. Amelia nodded. "Yes, please." Karen smiled and picked up the scissors. The first snip echoed louder than expected. A lock of hair fell into Amelia's lap, then another, and another. Each cut felt like a heartbeat fading away. She tried to keep still, but tears welled in her eyes. Her curls, the ones that had been her signature, her comfort, her career companion, were being severed one by one. When the last ponytail fell, Karen paused, resting a gentle hand on Amelia's shoulder. "You're doing beautifully." Amelia nodded, unable to speak. Her reflection now showed a short, uneven mess of hair clinging to her scalp. She almost didn't recognize herself. And the worst, or the most honest part, was still to come. "Understood." The room was utterly silent except for the faint hum of the studio lights above. The smell of freshly cut hair hung in the air, sharp and oddly intimate. Strands of blonde curls rested on the blue PVC cape that wrapped tightly around Amelia's shoulders, glimmering softly under the light. Her scalp felt strangely light, cool air brushing against patches where her hair had been unevenly cut away. She swallowed hard, blinking through tears that refused to stop forming. Karen moved quietly behind her, setting down the scissors. Amelia could hear the faint metallic clink as the stylist picked up the electric clippers from the tray beside her. The sound, that unmistakable buzz, filled the room as soon as the switch was flicked. Amelia flinched. The vibration was low at first, almost like the hum of a faraway machine. But as Karen brought the clippers closer to her head, the noise became louder, more immediate, more real. The crew watched in respectful silence. The camera operator focused in, capturing every subtle tremble in Amelia's jawline, every flicker of light reflecting in her tear-filled blue eyes. "Are you ready, sweetheart?" Karen asked softly. Amelia nodded, her voice barely above a whisper. "Go ahead." Karen placed her left hand gently on top of Amelia's head, guiding her chin downward. The first pass began at the crown, the clippers gliding forward with a steady, deliberate motion. The vibration tickled her scalp as the blades sheared through the remaining blonde stubble, sending soft tufts cascading down onto the cape. The sound was hypnotic, a rhythmic brrr followed by the faint whisper of falling hair. Amelia watched, frozen, as golden strands slid slowly down the shiny blue surface of the cape before settling in her lap. Another pass. And another. Each time, more of her familiar self disappeared, Karen moved methodically, down the center, then the sides, then the back, her movements confident, practiced. The clippers traced gentle paths over Amelia's scalp, revealing pale skin underneath. The air against her bare skin felt new, raw, almost too intimate to describe. Amelia's chest rose and fell unevenly. Her tears now flowed silently, streaking down her cheeks and dripping onto the edge of the cape. "You're doing so well," Karen murmured, her tone almost maternal. "You're brave, Amelia. Truly brave." Amelia let out a shaky laugh through her tears. I don't feel brave right now." "That's what makes it real," Karen said. "That's what they'll see." The camera zoomed in closer. The director didn't call cut. He didn't need to. This was the scene. The transformation. The loss. The rebirth. The hum of the clippers moved along the right side of her head now, sending tiny golden remnants tumbling like soft feathers. Karen tilted her head gently with one hand, exposing the fine contours of her neck and temple, ensuring every spot was even. The studio light caught the emerging shine of her scalp, glistening faintly with a natural sheen of warmth and nervous perspiration. When the stylist finally turned the clippers off, the silence that followed was overwhelming. Amelia looked up at her reflection, breathing hard. Her scalp was covered in faint golden fuzz, her hair reduced to mere millimeters. She barely recognized herself. But Karen wasn't done. "Ready for the final step?" she asked quietly, picking up a small bowl, a brush, and a straight razor. Amelia hesitated, then nodded. "Let's finish it." Karen dipped the brush into a bowl of warm shaving cream and began spreading it gently over Amelia's scalp. The cream was thick, smooth, and cool against her skin. Amelia shivered as the soft bristles brushed over her head in circular motions, covering every inch of her remaining stubble in a white foam. Then came the razor. Karen started from the front, gliding the blade slowly, carefully over Amelia's crown. The sound was almost inaudible, just the faint scrape of metal against skin. With each stroke, more foam and fuzz were wiped away, revealing clean, glistening skin beneath. Amelia felt everything: the gentle pull, the warmth of the stylist's hand steadying her head, the strange vulnerability of having nothing left between her and the world. The process took several minutes. Each motion was precise, rhythmic, and deeply human. When Karen finally wiped away the remaining traces of shaving cream with a warm towel, Amelia's scalp gleamed under the light. Perfectly smooth, perfectly bare. She sat motionless for a moment, breathing slowly, afraid to meet her own eyes in the mirror. Then, finally, she looked up. It didn't feel like looking at herself. Not at first. Her reflection was raw, stripped, startlingly honest. No curls, no soft frame around her face. Just her features, exposed, her blue eyes brighter than ever. The tears that still clung to her lashes caught the light, adding a faint shimmer to her cheeks. Karen stepped back, her expression filled with gentle pride. "There she is," she whispered. "The real Amelia." The director approached quietly, his voice almost reverent. "That was perfect," he said. "Don't move. Stay exactly like that." The cameras kept rolling as Amelia sat there, blinking slowly, a single tear tracing down her cheek. This moment, her moment of loss, surrender, and courage, would later become one of the most iconic scenes in cinema that year. But for now, all Amelia could do was stare at the bald woman in the mirror and try to make peace with her. When filming wrapped that day, everyone applauded softly. Crew members approached her with gentle smiles, offering hugs, compliments, quiet words of admiration. Amelia thanked them, but her voice trembled each time. She went to her dressing room and removed the blue PVC cape herself. Stray hairs still clung to the surface, scattered like remnants of a past life. She folded it neatly and set it aside, staring at the faint shimmer it left behind on her skin. In the mirror, her bald head reflected the overhead lights perfectly. Clean, smooth, and strangely luminous. She ran her fingertips across her scalp, feeling the gentle warmth of her skin, the unfamiliar texture of absolute smoothness. Tears welled up again, but this time they felt different. Not of loss, but of acceptance. That night when she got home, she stood in front of the bathroom mirror again. The apartment was quiet. She turned her head from side to side, studying her reflection. Her features looked sharper, her eyes deeper. Without hair, there was nowhere to hide. And yet, she didn't look broken. She looked powerful. Something had changed in her. Something invisible but profound. The act that once terrified her had stripped away not just her hair, but her fears, her pretenses. She had faced herself, bare, honest, unguarded, and survived.